At the end of the day, is it a good movie? Not really. Is it a bad movie? Not really. It's kind of a mediocre movie that you kind of go and see once, and then that's about it. Now, from what I know, they mandated it to be 2 hours long, which means there might be an extended edition that we get at some point. Well, we got it. Hey there, folks. My name is Daizoren, and welcome to, I don't know, Mondays, Tuesday. I don't know what day I'm going to upload this, but this is going to be my discussion/review of the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, as you just heard from a previous clip, that was from my original Justice League review in 2017. And I said that maybe we would get an extended cut of Justice League, and we kind of did. So as most people already know, after Justice League came out and the news had kind of hit that, yeah, this wasn't really Zack Snyder's original vision, a lot of people started throwing around the hashtag release the Snyder Cut. And here we are, 2021, 4 years later, and it has now released on HBO Max. I had a chance to watch it this past weekend, and I gotta say that this is what we should have gotten originally. I did not expect it to be that much better, and I was entirely wrong. So, a little bit of a backstory. I loved Man of Steel. I thought it was a great movie. It had its flaws, but overall I enjoyed it a lot. I did not like Batman vs. Superman. I thought it was a rushed concept. I thought bringing Doomsday, killing Superman immediately, so quickly into this DCEU was a horrible decision. And the extended cut of BVS remedied a few things, but I still feel like you could have taken the plot of BVS and turned it into 3 separate movies and had more character development. And that was one of my biggest complaints about the DC universe. That has been one of my biggest complaints, is that they have not taken the time to develop their characters the same way that Marvel has done. Marvel has been doing this for over a decade now, and as I'm sure most people will say after seeing Infinity War and Endgame, they did such a great and tremendous job getting us to a point where we felt so much for each individual character in the MCU. And spoilers obviously for everything I'm talking about. You should expect that by now if you've watched my videos or seen my previous reviews. For example, when Captain America holds Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, my own theater and every theater I have seen that saw the movie on release night had the same exact reaction. We all screamed in excitement. Because we have been waiting to see that since Age of Ultron. And so the payoff in Infinity War and in Endgame was so high that it was one of the best movie-going experiences that I've ever had. And so going into the Snyder Cut, I was hesitant because with Justice League, it felt like, again, a rushed product to try to cash in on these characters that people know and have followed for years. And I know that we know Batman's origin. We've seen Batman's origin 10 times over at this point. Yet here we are in BVS seeing it again. And I know people know Superman. We've seen his origin numerous times. But Aquaman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Like Cyborg, all these characters, they weren't fleshed out, and honestly, we haven't seen them as much. And so going into the original Justice League, it was a rushed product to try to cash in on these characters, and it felt disjointed because you had Zack Snyder versus Joss Whedon trying to put it together. And hearing that this was going to be 4 hours, I felt like, I don't know how this is going to go, but the trailers got me intrigued. Seeing that Darkseid was going to be a part of it also really got me excited, because I really wanted to see Darkseid. And I gotta say that it was worth the 4 hours. It absolutely was worth the 4 hours. Most of that 4 hours is spent building the characters and getting to know them. Cyborg has a much bigger part in this movie. Flash has a bigger part in this movie. Aquaman has a bigger part in this movie. Everybody gets a great deal of screen time that you get a chance to connect with them. I will say right now, Zack Snyder really likes his slow motion, and I think that half the movie was in slow motion. So I feel like a good portion of the movie, had it not always had so much slow motion, could have cut the movie down to maybe 3 hours. But that's his creative vision. That's his creative choice. So I didn't mind it that much. There were times where I was just like, okay, another slow motion shot. All right, let's buckle up and just endure this slow motion again. That being said, overall, this was a huge improvement. And I think it's going to show that fans kind of know maybe what they're talking about. I feel like that's both a good and a bad thing, because we've seen with both the Sonic movie and now with this, that the fans really can have some form of power in getting things corrected. I feel like that power can be misused. And obviously, Twitter can be a horrible place. And we can see a lot of cyberbullying through that kind of stuff. So there's definitely positives and negatives to this kind of power. But I think in this case, we saw the good that can come from it. The action in this movie was really well done. Basically, everything that was in the original Justice League has been redone, has been re-edited, has been recolorized. Like, the color grading is so much better. Like, everything about this was better. And it was interesting to see what scenes were added, but also what scenes were taken away from Justice League 2017. For example, the family that we saw at the end of Justice League that was stuck in the city, they weren't there. They're not in this movie. And I think that was a good idea to remove them entirely. Like, it just didn't make any sense to have them in there in the first place. Some of the awkward jokes that were in Justice League were removed, like when Aquaman accidentally has the lasso of truth around him and he starts speaking a little too openly about Wonder Woman. Like, that was all taken out, and I think that was a really good choice. Some of the CGI has been revamped. Steppenwolf's redesign looks much better. I think that they did a great job with how he looks. It still looks very CG, but especially in the close-ups, he looked nearly like real. They did a very good job with keeping him like cartoonish, like a comic book, but also you can see the emotion on his face. And they even allow a little time for him to show some of his backstory, show some of his motivation. Like, he as a character is developed in this. So overall, everything about this movie was a mile above what we got in 2017. Will I say it's like a perfect movie? Of course not. Like, there are still flaws. There are still things that I don't like about this storyline. I don't like the use of the Mother Box to bring Superman back. I think that that's a poor decision. I said that before, and I will say that again. I don't think that was a good idea, but I am very happy to see the black suit Superman. That was really cool, and I was really happy to see black suit Superman in this. It was so cool. But yeah, overall, I very much enjoyed this film. I think that there is a lot here to digest. Doing it all in one sitting is a challenge. But I really felt when we started the movie, I watched it with my cousin, and we at first were like, you know, we're going to kind of play this by ear, see how we're feeling about it, and maybe do it in parts. But we got about hour and a half, 2 hours in, and we were just like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's finish the whole thing. When we got done, we both kind of were on the same page of like, that was what we needed. That is what should have released in 2017. And I'm excited to see it come out on Blu-ray. I guess it is going to be coming out in Blu-ray in the summer. So I will be buying it on Blu-ray. The only criticisms that I have, obviously the Mother Box storyline, I don't like that. I have not liked that at all. The 4:3 aspect ratio, I've read why Zack Snyder decided to do that. His idea is that when we think about superheroes, we think about them usually in a vertical manner rather than a horizontal manner, unless you think of Superman flying. But other than that, there are these vertical kind of towers of power. And so the 4:3 aspect ratio, he thought, was a better representation of that. And I can understand where he's coming from when he says that, but I still feel like it's a weird excuse to do 4:3 aspect ratio. And I've seen people posting about trying to watch the movie on a 4:3 aspect ratio TV, and it doesn't work. It actually shrinks it down to an even smaller box. So I felt like that was kind of a missed opportunity. The CGI on Cyborg, I felt this time at times was way worse than the original 2017 design, and other times worked really well. But when it didn't work, it was bad. Like it wasn't like, it was jarring. It was like, okay, I'm being taken out of the experience because this doesn't look very good. I definitely felt like some of the slow motion was unnecessary, and it dragged a little bit because of it. But I feel like overall the pacing of the movie was very well done. I feel like the setup of the characters, the development of the characters, and then the setup of Steppenwolf coming in, getting the mother boxes, and then ultimately seeing Darkseid and everything was really well paced. And if you were to watch this kind of like a maybe 4-part series, you'd probably enjoy it quite a bit if you're not one to just sit down and watch. So if that's more of how you do things, I think you'll enjoy it just as well. It's broken into 6 parts, I think. And so you could even break it up like 6 viewings, and I think you'd be fine with that. The other thing that I thought was really strange was seeing how much edgier the movie was. Like, they definitely went for more blood and gore, and they were like, you know what, let's just go for it. It is rated R. There's some decapitation, there's some cutting people in half. Like, there's some pretty gory things that happen, and I'm totally fine with it. Like, it was really cool. Like, again, spoiler talk, like the part where Superman literally lasers Steppenwolf's like ear thing off and then throws him at Darkseid, and Wonder Woman cuts his head off. Like, that was just amazing. It was overkill, but I didn't really care. I enjoyed it. It was almost like a message from Zack Snyder to just be like, let's imagine Steppenwolf is 2017 Justice League. And we're just gonna pummel him. The introduction of Darkseid, some of the stuff that is hinted at that could have happened had Justice League 2017 been a success, or if this becomes a huge success, which I don't know if it will or not, but the things that it sets up have me very interested. And I didn't think that this would get me interested in the DCEU again, but it really did a good job of that. Like, I'm genuinely interested in seeing the storyline with Darkseid. I'm interested in seeing what would happen with Lex Luthor. Like, I don't like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but this was done so well that I genuinely kind of want to see the future. And I really want to see the nightmare future where Superman is in power and we see the injustice type storyline that Lois has died and Superman is pissed. So all three of those things I really want to see now. Whether or not we will is obviously up to Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder, if he's interested in wanting to continue that, or if they want to give the reins to someone else, if they even want to risk it. But I definitely feel like this was a good call to give Zack Snyder a chance to redo Justice League. I think he nailed it. I think he hit pretty much a home run with this. Again, if you are not one for 4-hour movies, this is not going to be for you. If you're watching this, though, you've probably already watched it. But I very much enjoyed it. I really wish that is what we had gotten in 2017. With 4-hour runtime, though, I don't think it would have been successful anyway, because most people don't want to watch a 4-hour movie. But I still think it could have been cut to 3.5 hours and still been just as good. So yeah, overall though, if you are interested in seeing the Snyder Cut, then I highly recommend you do it if you haven't already. If you're watching this, you probably already have, and you're just looking to see what other people thought. But it was good. I enjoyed it, and I really would like to see more. I would like to see more. I think Henry Cavill is a great Superman. I think Ben Affleck actually is a really good Batman. Gal Gadot is a good Wonder Woman, despite my issues with Wonder Woman 84. I have a lot of issues with Wonder Woman 84. Jason Momoa is a good Aquaman. Like, they did a good job with casting. It's just that they got put into a bad movie. But this one definitely is a huge improvement in ways that I never thought I would have seen. So yeah, I give this movie like 2 thumbs up. It's a great time. It's an enjoyable movie. If you need to split it up, do so. If you can sit through 4 hours, do that too. But overall, I had a great time with this. I had a blast. And I'm very interested to see what happens from here, because who knows? We might see more. I don't know. But that's going to do it for this video, so I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys are making this channel happen, and I thank you very much for that. If you're new around here, maybe consider subscribing. If you like the video, hit it with a thumbs up. But otherwise, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.